Turning back again to the latest on that breaking news out of Pennsylvania, where Bill Cosby has been released from prison after the state Supreme Court vacated his conviction.
Bill Cosby is free from prison for reasons you may not have expected. Welcome into TYT Overruled. I'm your host, attorney Adrienne Lawrence. Today, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled in a 79-page opinion that Bill Cosby's conviction for sexual assault must be reversed. The 83-year-old comedian and actor was serving a 3 to 10-year sentence for a 2018 conviction for sexually assaulting Andrea Constand in 2004. And this is probably going to be the end of the prosecution against Cosby. Now, having read the 79-page opinion myself, I have a few things to say. But first, let me provide you a summary of the background of the case. Basically, Andrea Constand said that her mentor, Cosby, drugged and assaulted her in his home in Philly. After an investigation, the Philadelphia prosecutor opted not to bring charges against Cosby because he didn't think that a jury would convict based on credibility issues and whatnot. That prosecutor released a press release saying that he was not going to prosecute and suggested Constand pursue a civil case against Cosby. Now, Constand sued Cosby, and he ended up testifying in that civil case where he did not have a Fifth Amendment right not to testify. Cosby admitted to several things, including giving Constand Benadryl and having to give women Quaaludes in the 70s and 80s to have sex with them. This was kind of common practice. And it ended up with that case that Constand and Cosby settled for about $3.83 million. And as a result, after that, taking the testimony that Cosby had provided in that case, a new prosecutor later decided to bring charges against Cosby. That prosecutor also got about 5 women to speak to instances in the past where they believed that Cosby had slipped them Quaaludes or other drugs and then engaged in sexual practices with them without consent. And the prosecutor obtained a conviction. To today's ruling, although the courts are supposed to interpret the law, they occasionally make new law, and today was that occasion. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court said this: "For the reasons detailed below, we hold that when a prosecutor makes an unconditional promise of non-prosecution and when the defendant relies upon that guarantee to the detriment of his constitutional right not to testify, the principle of fundamental fairness that undergirds due process of law in our criminal justice system demands that the promise be enforced." First, as much as you may not want to hear it, the Pennsylvania's High Court got it right. A prosecutor should not be able to tell a defendant one thing when it comes to prosecution, get him to testify, relinquishing his Fifth Amendment right in a civil suit, and then prosecute him. That breaches underlying principles in the Constitution. It's a workaround to the Fifth Amendment, and that is no good. That is what happened here with Cosby. He essentially was told that he was not going to be prosecuted, so he admitted to various things in the civil suit, and then those things were used against him. That's not okay. Second, I'm not saying Cosby is innocent of anything. What I'm saying is that the procedures must be proper in order to preserve our constitutional rights. They were not proper here. Please bear in mind that they also weren't proper procedures in Miranda v. Arizona. That's a case of a rapist who admitted to guilt, but that admission was deemed inadmissible because he didn't know his rights. And as a result, SCOTUS gave us a ruling that now gives us all Miranda warnings, letting us know that we are entitled to our rights before we incriminate ourselves. And also the procedures weren't proper in Gideon v. Wainwright. That's where SCOTUS ruled that we're all entitled to an attorney if we face criminal charges in court. So please remember that sometimes bad guys go free in order to serve the greater good. I sincerely don't know if Cosby was one of those bad guys or if he was simply among the many individuals, mostly men, doing what was commonplace back in the day when it came to coercing and drugging women into sex. I do know that we need better and we deserve better in a society. Consent is a requisite, as is justice.